Thank you for hitting the rewind button with us tonight. I'm Daljeet Kelsey.
I'm Dan Fowler.
And tonight, Dan, we're going to be revisiting more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle nostalgia.
Again.
I know, but
this has become the I Love the Mutant Turtles show.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Is there any other kind? Okay, fine. We'll talk more about the Mutant Turtles.
The Mutant Ninja Turtles, yes, the teenagers. Because, we've seen those memes about the mid-40s Ninja Turtles, and those are just depressing.
All right, so why are we talking about the Turtles again? We already gave them one full episode. What else is there to talk about?
Well, as you know, there is a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles minutia, and I went down a rabbit hole, so to speak. Easter is just around the corner, and I was looking through my collection of Easter specials, and I discovered I still have a copy of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Awesome Easter Special that I think was a direct-to-video thing where the Turtles traveled to a different dimension, the fairy tale dimension, and met the Easter Bunny who's named Hokum. But anyway, as I was pulling out this VHS cassette, it had this little booklet that featured other some Easter fun coloring activities and other family home entertainment videos that you could purchase. And one of them was Will Vinton's Claymation Easter. Now, I know we talked about Will Vinton in our last episode. He was the guy behind the Noid, the California Raisins, and the Claymation Christmas Special. Have you ever seen the Easter special?
No, I haven't. I've seen the Christmas. I've even seen the Halloween special and the California Raisins and the Noid and the documentary on Will Vinton, but I've not seen the Easter special, no.
Yeah, I hadn't either. I didn't even know this thing existed. And apparently it's not like the Christmas special at all, where that was a series of vignettes. This, I guess, was a long-form story about I think a pig that I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my YouTube playlist, that wants to kill off the Easter Bunny to reap in some kind of benefit that the Easter Bunny gets.
All right.
But anyway.
Jesus is probably really mad about that.
Probably so. But that led me to another rabbit hole where I discovered that Will Vinton actually produced a commercial for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Pizza Crunch-A-Bungas, which were a snack food around the 89, 1990 era that were pizza-flavored corn snacks. And the commercial featured Claymation Ninja Turtles that kind of looked like a cross between the Ninja Turtles and the California Raisins with a completely different voice cast. But that just got me nostalgic for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles foods.
Right, and then so you drug me in to give me a laundry list of Ninja Turtles food item commercials to go through, and we pick our favorite ones. That's how you wanted to spend this afternoon, right?
Did you have a better idea?
No, may as well.
Ninja Turtles, get ready! It's an attack! A snack attack! A crunchy snack attack!
The Crunch-A-Bungas commercials. So, we're picking our favorite ones out of this, like I said, this list of Ninja Turtles food-related commercials, and you're picking the Crunch-A-Bungas.
Crunch-A-Bungas.
And you're right, the Will Vinton Claymation. I'm a fan of this Claymation. I am a fan of the Turtles. Not an uber fan. I can't name every single little detail down to every little trivia bit about the Ninja Turtles, but I am a fan, and did enjoy this commercial. It was different. I had never seen the Turtles in Claymation before. I'll go ahead and tell you, a lot of this stuff I grew up with, I just wasn't really that aware of, or that I wasn't eating it. Okay. In fact, going back through this list of everything you wanted to go through tonight, personally, I was not eating this stuff. I was exposed to plenty of junk food in the past, just not Ninja Turtle related, I guess. And I was aware of some of it, but it starts to become blurry because once YouTube came into play and the nostalgia wave was coming through big time, I don't know if I really remember this having been exposed to it as a child, or if I just remember this because, I saw the commercial way after the fact. But regardless, Crunch-A-Bungas, I really enjoyed it. What was really strange to me, so if you hadn't seen this commercial, the commercial is practically Claymation turtles jumping around, cutting up pizzas into Crunch-A-Bunga shapes, and they have a Claymation shredder that's chasing them around the scenery. One thing I thought that was really neat was the design of the turtles reminded me. Do you remember those stuffed animal plushy Ninja Turtles back in the day?
Yeah.
That looked like they would come out of claw machines?
Yeah, you're right. The head shape of these claymation turtles was a lot different than the cartoon and did resemble those. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. It was like they took that doll and made that into the claymation model to go after in order to pull off that commercial. So that to me was interesting.
I did not remember that commercial.
Did you have the Crunchabungas?
That is another thing where it's hazy. Like I remember seeing them in the stores, like the display, because it felt like in 1990 the Ninja Turtles were everywhere. Their image was attached on all kinds of things. We'll talk about a lot of the things they were attached to. And I vividly remember seeing like the stand-up display in the store with. It didn't have like the claymation Ninja Turtle. I think it just had like an animated, a rendering of like from the cartoon.
Yeah, one of the stock photos of a Ninja Turtle jump through the air with weapons out. Yeah. Yeah,
and I remember seeing it, maybe eating it, but I get those, like I can't remember the difference between what this tasted like and like the Keebler Pizzerios. Do you remember those? There were also a pizza flavored corn chip.
I remember a lot of pizza-flavored things growing up. I don't remember the turtle ones specifically. I know I wasn't eating them. I know that much.
Crunchabungas, I don't remember eating it.
The theme of this episode, we're talking about things we do not remember. Only what we know now, being exposed to it as of 5 minutes ago.
I remember seeing them. I don't remember eating them, but I'm sure I probably did because anything Ninja Turtles I could get my hands on in 1990 through about 93, I was all about.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. Get them while they're hot.
And so my main commentary is going to be on these commercials because the commercials, they have their own merit. They stand out. They really resonate with me as far as certain kid memories.
Definitely.
The first big one
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pasta from Chef Boyardee.
Was the Chef Boyardee's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pasta.
Oh, yeah.
So I ate plenty of pasta growing up. I don't remember, again, specifically eating the Ninja Turtles pasta, but the commercial really resonated with me. Now, there were two of these commercials. The first one that came out was just some generic cartoon turtles flipping through a living room, kids going, woo, wow, and then mom telling them to take their ass to the kitchen to finish their Chef Boyardee cans of Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
What I wanted to talk about was the second version that came out. So later on, they upgraded the can. They added the shredder to the pasta mix because the pasta was originally, they had 4 pasta shapes, 1 for each Ninja Turtle, and then they added the shredder. Well, the second commercial was really hitting it home for me because in the second commercial, you had kids around this table, some friends, I suppose, or foster children, whoever they were, and they're taking their turns eating the pasta, and as they're saying who their favorite turtle is, and they eat their turtle pasta, then they turn into that cartoon animation of that turtle. Yep. Like the first kid turns into Michelangelo, the second kid turns into Donatello. What I got a big kick out of was the third kid, who was like the weakest little kid, the runt of the bunch, who was, I'm gonna be, and then somebody interrupted him.
Yeah, kept jumping over him to be the next guy. Yeah.
Well, he eats his, and he becomes the Shredder. And instantly, the other two run out of the room because it's like, oh, God, our best friend's about to kick her ass because he just became the big bad guy that you would think they wouldn't be afraid of because they're the Turtles, and they watch the Turtles kick his ass like every Saturday morning. So I don't know what the big fear was there, but the reason why this resonated with me, I thought this was a better version of a commercial compared to, do you remember the commercials for fruit roll-ups, and I think it was Gushers?
Oh, yeah.
But you remember how freaky it was? Were you ever terrorized as a kid? For me, that was like body horror as a 5-year-old or even an 8-year-old. It's like I'm watching these commercials where these children would eat food that would turn their heads into giant, freakish pieces of fruit, and or the Fruit Loops. I remember fruit roll-ups. They would eat the fruit roll-ups, and they would turn into all kinds of just like misshapen body horrors, like I said, and it just freaked me out. Like I did not like it. It definitely didn't make me want to eat it. Yeah.
The Gushers things too. I think their heads turned into fruit that exploded, and there was like liquid geysers.
Oh, that's right. Their heads blew up. I think the Gusher, their heads would blow up. It would turn into fruit first and all over the ceiling or something.
Yeah.
It was just nuts. It's like, that was shock marketing in its day, but toward kids, and that's what freaked me out about it. I hated those commercials.
I hadn't thought about those in years, but yeah, I can vividly see it now in my head. And yeah, it was kind of traumatizing a little bit as a kid. Like, eat this thing and you'll die. Little did we know they were poisoning us with all the sugar and other terrible things in there. But yeah, just the thought of biting into one of those things and my head explodes and turns into strawberry syrup on the ceiling. Not a fan.
No, but that's why that commercial resonated with me. I'm sold better on the idea of give me something that turns me into my favorite character from a cartoon show as opposed to splatter on the wall. So that made it way better for me.
Did you ever try any of the other Ninja Turtle pastas? I know there was a box like mac and cheese variety around the same time. It wasn't from Kraft. It was from like an off-brand, but it had the 4 turtle shapes with the cheese sauce. Did you ever try that?
Well, for the umpteenth time, Dal, I don't remember ever eating any of these Ninja Turtle food items. I just remember having been exposed to commercials here and there. That's
all right.
I'm sorry if my childhood doesn't live up to your standards of Ninja Turtle fandom.
Not at all. I have also have a mac and cheese fandom. So any kind of character shaped mac and cheese I could get my hands on as a kid, I definitely tried. And even a year ago when the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie came out, and it was a Walmart exclusive, it was a great value brand, but it was the Ninja Turtles mac and cheese shaped like the new Ninja Turtles. Of course, I was all about it. I think I bought like 6 boxes and plowed through all of them, and still found some for like 50 cents, some like in a clearance rack on the shelf. And of course, those came home and ended up in my belly.
Those turtles still have their hooks in you, don't they? Deep hooks.
They do. I am a sucker for a good marketing campaign, especially one about mac and cheese and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Hey dudes, pizza party! Yeah, now our cereal has new pizza-shaped marshmallows.
My next pick is going to be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cereal from Ralston, or Purina Ralston, if you will. The same company behind dog and cat food was making our breakfast cereal in the late 80s and 90s before they got bought out by General Mills. I hope they didn't use the same lines. That would be...
Hopefully not. I didn't know about the dog food thing. I mean, I guess I knew. I just didn't put one and one together, but thanks for that.
Yeah, Ralston was like their consumer products line, while Purina was their pet food line. But anyway, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cereal was sweetened rice cereals in the shape of like checks. They called them Ninja Nets, and they had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themed marshmallows in them. Later on, they would add pizza-shaped marshmallows for another marketing campaign. This was around for several years. The original version, I think, had like little mini comic books in it with different characters that you'd see in the cartoon and the toy line, like Casey Jones, Shredder, Baxter Stockman, Wingnut, and I can't remember the name of the Manta Ray. Was he actually named Manta Ray?
I think he was named Manta Ray, so yeah, that's his name.
Yeah.
Manta Ray.
Little, I think little 4-page comics that were like little mini, the size of half a sheet of notebook paper that were in the box. And then later on, famously, you'll see images on the web about this green ooze that was like this dyed honey that would come in specially marked boxes that you could pour on top. But what I remember most and loved the most were the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cereal bowls. Now, they had 4 different ones that had the mask of the different turtles, and they were just kind of these bloated turtles that were in the shape of a bowl with a head on it, and they had little hands and feet that you could eat your cereal out of.
So you were basically eating your cereal out of their bellies.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because they're on their backs, essentially, and you're eating the cereal out of their stomachs.
like picture the shell removed, and you're just dining on cereal out of a turtle that's smiling at you. I love that thing. I used it all the time. Had it for years, and then I think I put it in the microwave one time, and that was the end of that Ninja Turtle. Can't put turtles in the microwave.
So again, something I didn't grow up with, but now this was a cereal that was later used or recycled, I should say, for the Spider-Man, the animated series.
It was, yeah.
So I actually do have a vivid memory of that cereal, because that cereal, I remember there was a contest on those cereal boxes, and it was win a breakfast with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I was of the age where I don't know what I was going through at the time. I must have been fed up with something, but it's like, I don't care. I'm just going to open up every one of these boxes and see if I can win that breakfast with Spider-Man. So,
like in the middle of the grocery store?
In the middle of the grocery store. I didn't buy the box. I mean, this is like, I don't know why we were in the grocery store for so long, but my family was off shopping somewhere. I was in the
in the cereal aisle.
Elementary school or something, and I saw that contest, and I was like, well, surely out of one of these, I don't know, tens of 20 boxes that were on the shelf, it has to be the winning ticket, like Willy Wonka to go to the chocolate factory, except I was going to have breakfast with Spider-Man. And but luckily for anyone who bought those afterward, I didn't have to open the cereal. That's why I think I did it. I think out of curiosity, I opened the box and found out the ticket to find out if you won the breakfast with Spider-Man or not. It was inside the box between the packaged cereal and the box, so I didn't have to tear into any cereal. I just reached into every one of the boxes.
Okay.
And that's when I realized, like, oh, this really is like a 1 out of a billion chance, because none of them in this store was the winning ticket. So that kind of gave me a reality check there, and I never did that again.
Dan Fowler, the child vandal. Who knew that he was the Spider-Man cereal culprit that went uncaught for, 30 years now?
Well, no one was buying them. I doubt they even knew they were open. They probably just like chucked them in the clearance bin like within the week.
Probably so. That's still funny. If my mom would have caught me doing that, I would have got a terrible spanking in the middle of the store.
Well, luckily I wasn't caught, but I still to this day, I wonder if there's footage. There's got to be something somewhere of somebody who won that contest. I want to know how awkward that must have been. Like, does the guy in the Spider-Man costume, does he just sit there and watch you eat?
Right.
Does he try to talk to you while you eat? Does he roll the mask up and eat with you? What kind of odd scene must that have been?
You're right. We'll have to see if that's on YouTube.
Does he bring the
somewhere.
cereal, or is he just like arrive at your house for you to eat whatever's in the pantry?
It's probably like some 40-year-old camera guy who's like, "Hey, kid, we got Spider-Man here. He's got the cereal. Can we film you at your breakfast table eating the cereal?"
You got enough clearance on top of that fridge for him to stoop up there and watch you eat? Great publicity photo.
Can he hang from the chandelier? Ma, is that okay if he does that?
Yeah, that's something I would love to have a follow-up on and know if they even follow through with that, because that to me is just the places my imagination goes.
Yeah. While we're talking about the Ninja Turtle bowls, I went on a eBay adventure to see if I could find some that were at a decent price. They started about $25. I can't bring myself to pay $25 for a 30-year-old used cereal bowl that somebody's probably eaten out of 100 times. But I found the full set with 4 sealed boxes with 4 sealed bowls.
Oh, so each bowl is a different color per turtle? So
yes.
There's 4 total.
There's 4 different ones.
Oh, okay.
And the seller wanted, I believe, $1,250. So, of course, that did not come home with me. But it was just interesting to see that they're still out there.
All right, so once again, another item, little familiar with, never had, but I was wanting to talk about the commercial for the Ninja Turtles ice cream bars. Now, I have seen this ice cream bar plenty of times. I've seen it many times on the side of an ice cream truck while growing up. It's just basically the head of a Ninja Turtle, usually Leonardo, I think. I don't think they made all the different colors on the heads. I'm not sure.
I don't think so either. I think you're right. It was like Leonardo.
Yeah, I think they may have different turtles on the packaging to really switch things up. But I think it was always Leonardo as the ice cream bar, and he had gumballs for the eyes.
Yep.
But the reason why I wanted to bring this one up is this one was unique because it was the one commercial that actually incorporated footage from the first movie from 1990 that we just talked about in the first episode a while ago.
It did.
And it has the turtles, they're sitting around the campfire, that scene where they're trying to meditate and reach out to Splinter to see if he's okay or whatever while they're hiding out from the Foot and Shredder. But instead of them trying to meditate for the purpose of that scene, they rewrite it for the commercial, and they're just trying to find like their happy place or something that'll bring them closer to serenity or something. And instead of Splinter springing up in the middle of the fire, it's the ice cream bar.
The ice cream bar.
So first off, clever way of incorporating it into the footage of the movie. That was smart. I like that. But what was so weird to me was, as much as they recycled footage from the movie, they did insert 1 or 2 shots of guys in turtle suits, or a guy in a turtle suit, of somebody in a Michelangelo suit that wasn't from the movie, but from past the movie. And he just looked really bizarre, because even though he's only in there for like 1 shot and then a second shot where it's just a hand, you could just so immediately tell there's a difference, especially with him holding that ice cream bar. Because you remember when the toy line of the Ninja Turtles came out with the Toon Turtles, where they were trying to make them look a little more cartoony, like the cartoon.
Yeah, they almost look like the Will Vinton claymation figures with the big bulgy eyes and the more rounded heads, I guess.
Yeah, it's, to each their own opinion. But But I know, it reminded me of those toys specifically because there's just something about the bulbous eyes and the dark skin. Because, like I said, it looked more cartoon associated than it did movie associated, and that just really stuck out to me in a weird way because it was just so instantaneous. Like, it's not the same suit, and it's different, and that's why it just struck me so strange because it hit me like, oh, it reminds me of that particular series from the toy line when they were trying to do the Toonie versions.
The Toonie Turtles, I forgot about them. And I know you said you don't remember eating the ice cream bars. I do. And it was like a hit or miss quality wise, and maybe because they were in the back of ice cream trucks and who knows how many times they got melted and refrozen, but they would vaguely be in the shape of a turtle head, and the gumball eyes were not always in the mask where they were supposed to be. Sometimes one was like up on the top of the bar. One was like jammed in the bottom of the bar.
Kind of looking like Toxic Avenger almost with the lopsided eyes.
Pretty much.
Well, I was going to ask now, was that your go-to ice cream growing up? For an ice cream bar? For an ice cream bar or the ice cream truck. I remember having it once or twice. I didn't really patronize the ice cream truck very often. It was, I don't know, maybe twice in my childhood. Well, see, when I was growing up, it was our elementary school where we had a ice cream bin box thing off to the side. So after you ate your lunch, you could go over and for like 25 cents, 50 cents, you could get an ice cream bar.
Yeah.
And the popular one that I was always eating out of there, I remember, was the Mickey Mouse ice cream bar. And this was the one, it was in the shape of Mickey Mouse's head, but it was like a vanilla ice cream bar, I believe it was, but it had like a chocolate shell on the outside around his ears.
I remember that ice cream bar, and I think it had little like chocolate, like M&M eyes or something, right?
Ours didn't.
Maybe not?
But then again, you went to a fancier school. You went to private school. I went to public school. We couldn't afford M&M eyeball ice cream bars.
Well, maybe the ones you got out of the store, or maybe the ones you got at Disney World. I don't remember. But I remember eating them.
Oh, you had to go to Disney World too, did you? Mr. Privilege.
And these ice cream bars are actually still around. Another company, they're originally made by Blue Bunny, and now Wells Food Service, I guess, has picked up the license, and they launched a new version of this for the latest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. Still have the gumball eyes. I haven't seen those in stores. I think they're kind of only available for like commercial buyers, but I'm going to keep my eye out for that. And if I can find one, I'll make sure you can actually taste one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ice cream bars.
Hey, I'm there. If you get one, I'm more than willing.
My other pick tonight was the Royal Ooze. Do you remember the Royal Ooze Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle tie-in? I'm sure you're going to say, of course I don't. So I'll go ahead and explain it to you.
Good. Saves me some breath.
Back in 1991, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from The Secret of the Ooze, the second movie, ended up being featured on boxes of Royal Gelatin. That was Nabisco's answer to Jell-O. I think it was a couple of cents cheaper. Still around today, but you have to like buy it online from like Walmart.com. You can't just walk in the store and find it on the shelf, at least around here. I looked. Of course I did. One of the things that was really interesting about it was the back of the box had a recipe for Royal Ooze drink. So it's basically like a not fully gelatinized version of Jell-O that you could drink, and it's kind of thick. And supposed to be...
Obviously, it's supposed to be made by your parents. I mean, this isn't so easy that a child can make it, right?
I don't know. The recipe's pretty easy. You just kind of boil some water, then you put some Jell-O and some Royal Gelatin and some ice cubes in there, stir it up and serve it. And it just so happens, Dan, I have some for us to try at the end of the show.
No. Oh, okay. Well, that's great.
It's not 30-year-old gelatin. I just bought the... I couldn't find Royal, so I had to buy Jell-O.
As long as it's not 30-year-old Crunch-A-Bungas, I'm good.
Surprisingly, when I was researching this stuff, there are so many videos on YouTube where people are buying 30-year-old food products and opening them and eating them in their videos. I don't know why they would want to do this, but it's a thing.
It is. I don't want to take any part in that, but I will acknowledge it is.
Yeah, we will not be eating any 30-year-old food here on the rewind button, but we'll talk about plenty of it.
We're heroes in a half shell. We're baking a surprise. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pie.
All right, so the final commercial that really grabbed my attention that I thought was worth talking about was the one of the more popular food items I've heard plenty of people talk about. Never had the opportunity to try one, but I absolutely would. If this was still around today, I would have absolutely stopped at the grocery store on the way home, picking this up so that I could try it on the show. The Hostess Ninja Turtles pudding pies.
Oh, yeah. The green things.
Yeah. So this was a vanilla pudding pie that was covered in a green frosting. Mm-hmm. It actually looks pretty good for a little pastry dessert. But what was interesting to me and wanted to talk about it for the purpose of this show was, so every one of these commercials that we've watched for these different food items to do with the Ninja Turtles, every one of them looks like they were, of course, done by a different animation studio because, they got to lease this stuff out. They got to hire somebody to make and produce the Turtles doing something cartoony, as close to the cartoon as they could probably get.
And different enough so that if they didn't have that particular licensing, it wasn't quite trademark infringement.
Right. So a lot of it looked good. A lot of it did look good. And you can tell a lot of nuances and differences and this and that. What I liked about this one was I think, according to all the copyright slapped at the bottom across this commercial, this looks like it was made by the actual
Murakami Wolf Studios, yeah.
Yes. So it looks like it was made by that animation studio, the same one that makes the cartoon series. This is one, if not the only one, where they actually animated the Turtles making these pastries.
Right from the sewers to you.
Directly from the sword to you, as they advertise, which sounds fucking disgusting. But the animation was really cool, really great, because it was right off the Saturday morning cartoon from CBS. The Turtles in the sewers. I think Bebop and Rocksteady start off down there trying to attack them or something, and then they burst out of the sewers to throw these dessert treats in the kids' faces so they can snack on them before the Shredder shows up with his minions, and then they beat him up as always, and then leave him knocked out or whatever in the street to go and enjoy more food items that they can promote and sell and make more money off of. But the animation of this one was really, really good and really top shelf, just like in the cartoon series.
And I believe it might have even been the same voice actors, or at least they sounded a lot closer to the...
Closer. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
All these commercials, I mean, for obvious reasons, they're not going to bring these guys out to do commercials all the time, so they're going to get someone to fill in to sound like them, almost like they do on the actual show, because as you know, on the actual Turtle show, sometimes not everybody on the cast could make it to the recording.
Yeah.
So they'll have somebody else fill in for the Shredder's voice or Donatello's voice. They'll have somebody pulling double duty, and you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
But you never mind because it's just so unique. It's like, oh, so that's what Rob Paulson sounds like as the Shredder instead of Raphael, and it's just really neat to hear that. But yeah, it's so, who knows which commercials they did the voices for versus them pulling in a sound-alike.
Yeah. I think Frank Welker got a lot of work on those different commercials.
He could have.
Very versatile actor, but plays the... he's got that one like tone to his voice that when you hear it, you're like, was that Frank?
Yeah, and it's so wild when you learn more about this kind of stuff. For instance, you and I, we both met Roger Jackson. Roger Jackson was the voice of Ghostface. He was the voice of Mojo Dojo from Powerpuff Girls.
Yep.
But we interviewed him for another show a while back, and we found out through him that he's the guy they hire to do impersonations of all these other voices for toys and video games.
Right.
Like for the Batman Begins games, they don't bring
the regular voice actor.
Yeah. So for instance, they don't bring Liam Neeson in to do the voice of Ra's al Ghul, who he played in Batman Begins for a Batman Begins video game. They bring in Roger Jackson, who does his impersonation of Liam Neeson. And the same thing we found out for Monsters, Inc. All those Sully dolls and toys that they sell with his voice. Yep. You think it's John Goodman, but we find out from Roger Jackson, like, no, they're hiring him to do the voice of John Goodman because he's cheaper than John Goodman being brought into the studio or the booth and recording those.
Yeah, I imagine there's probably like a likeness clause in their contracts too, where they're probably saving a lot of money on not having to pay John Goodman a licensing fee to use his voice for these things.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Willie's awesome toys, they're epic and they're cool. From Ninja Turtle cereal and Cookie Crisp too.
There were several other Ninja Turtle food tie-ins around the same time. One was a series of cookies. I can't remember if they were just like shortbread cookies or different varieties, but they were made by the Delicious Cookie Company, and you could buy them in packs that look like the Turtle Van and the Turtle Blimp, which I remember seeing as a kid and really thinking they were cool. Again, it's one that I can't remember if I ever ate or not.
Hey, dudes, I'm hungry.
Me too. Let's order a pizza.
Turtles cannot live on pizza alone.
Light and lively 6-pack low-fat yogurt. Excellent.
Another one was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles yogurt from Light and Lively, which was a craft food brand. I believe that came out in 1989. Again, the character designs and the voice actors completely different. Lastly, there was the McCain Elio's Ninja Turtles microwave pizza. Nothing really special about this. It was the cheap, like 49 cents or so at the time, small little microwave pizzas that were like a hair smaller than the Geno's, Totino's.
Yeah, I definitely don't remember those. I mean, I remember the small pizzas. I was practically raised on those small, like dollar pizzas from the grocery store. But Ninja Turtles themed, I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember eating them, and again, they were all just the same, like low quality, like, yeah, it's pizza, but it's not really pizza, but it'll get the job done after school kind of a thing.
For a limited time, only at Burger King.
And then there were the not direct food tie-ins, but the fast food tie-ins. Do you remember any of the Burger King commercials?
Okay, so now you're talking my language. And now I do have direct experience and plenty to talk about when it comes to the fast food commercials and fast food tie-ins of Ninja Turtles. I did grow up with those.
Well, please, kick us off.
So, yeah, I do remember Burger King selling the VHSs. I do remember them selling some
Collector's cups.
And then you had, of course, Pizza Hut had a lot of promotions to do with the Turtles.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of that I have more vivid memories of and picked up here and there. Like, even after it wasn't that big a deal anymore, I remember finding that plenty of times in, like, Goodwills or thrift stores or yard sales and stuff like that. That was always fun.
I believe I had a couple of the $3.99, or at least one of the $3.99 video cassettes. I think it was just like an episode from the series that they had.
That's all they were,
boxed and marketed, yeah.
Yeah. It was just, repackaging of, I don't remember if the Burger King tapes were the same tapes that had already been released, just with Burger King packaging slapped on the front.
I think so. They were like family home entertainment.
They were
things with just the Burger King logo on them. I had the Attack of the Pizza Monster. I can't remember the name of the episode.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. It was like the aliens ripoff, but it was the meatballs on pizzas that would be put in the microwave that heat up and turn into the alien knockoffs.
Yeah. So basically, the chest burster, little mini alien that grows into the big xenomorph that they're chasing through the sewers. So that was really cool. And then I think I also had one of the plastic collectible cups that they had later on. I know they also had some badges, but I don't think I ever had any of those.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles rock and roll.
We've already talked about coming out of their shells and the audio cassette tapes.
Yeah, that was something I definitely don't regret missing out on. That was another thing. I was aware of it, but that wasn't as easily accessible as a lot of other things, the coming out of their shell concert stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I would see images of them. I think it might have been Blockbuster. You go to Blockbuster and you see the advertisements on the TV of their coming out of their shell tour, but I never understood, as a kid, I didn't understand like where I could go see it. I didn't understand that it was a concert that I could actually go and see, or participate in as an audience member. But then years later, thanks to YouTube, I finally do find out what it was all about, and I don't think I really missed out much.
Any final thoughts on any of those fast food things before we go into the drink?
No, I'm eager to see what this tastes like.
You have never seen this, but know what it is. That's the canister that had the ooze.
So yes, this is the ooze drink recipe from Royal Gelatin from the Royal Ooze lineup that had all the Ninja Turtles on the boxes. It's essentially just Jell-O that hasn't quite solidified yet. It's just boiling water, the gelatin, ice cubes, shake it up, mix it up, put it in a glass, and drink it right away.
So liquid Jell-O.
Liquid Jell-O.
All right.
And instead of the green ooze from the second movie, I opted to recreate something that I hoped would look like the ooze from...
I'm thinking more like the slime from Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, that's kind of the consistency I got. I was going for the purple ooze from the cartoon, but yeah, slime it is. Let's play some Jackie Wilson and see if it dances.
All All right, let's do it. So
Let's
bottoms
do it.
up.
Let's try it. Bottoms
All
up.
right.
It's definitely got some of that Jell-O consistency. Oh, you're going all the way to the bottom. Okay, let me catch up.
Oh, that is thick.
That is thick.
That is thick. Wow. Oh, I've actually got some congealed Jell-O in my glass.
I guess that's part of the fun of the ooze. Yeah, there's some on the sides here. I haven't quite finished it. You were chugging like no tomorrow.
Well, I said bottoms up. Not bad. Not bad. There's let's see, it's very, you already said what was in it. You said it was cherry and
strawberry mixed together. Yeah, black cherry and strawberry.
It tastes good. It's a little thick because it's like
it's just
it wants to be Jell-O. It's not, but it wants to be, and goes down the throat like it's wanting to be Jell-O. But yeah, it's good. I wouldn't want it every day, but it's good.
No, but 6-year-old me, if my mom would have whipped this up when I was watching the VHS on like a Friday night or something, would have thought it was really cool. So, hell, almost 40-year-old me had fun thinking this was ooze that I was drinking for.
Well, let's be honest. If you wanted to have fun thinking it was ooze that you were drinking, that would mean that you'd be turning into what, a cat person now because a cat was the last animal you touched.
I suppose, yeah. Or I don't know what kind of animal goes into the gelatin. Is it?
Well, no,
it cow hooves?
No. Remember that's how it worked with those were the rules, wasn't it? With the mutagen in turtles, it was always if someone came in contact with the mutagen, it was
Right.
like whatever animal they last touched, they would take on the traits of.
I don't know about that logic, but sure. We'll
Well, I'm
go
not
with
making it up. I'm just repeating what I think I remember.
Yeah, I don't recall the specifics of the mutagen. I'm trying to remember how Bebop and Rocksteady.
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of the comic books. I think that's what they did in the comic books.
Okay.
It was always like some cross of the mutagen, what animal you came in contact with or something. That definitely was a comic book thing.
Well, since we've chugged our ooze drink here and we've kind of revisited all of the Ninja Turtle foods from the turn of the late 80s into the 90s, if there was one Ninja Turtle food that you could bring back to try, what would you want to pick?
Still
Burping up some
still
Jell-O
working,
there?
still trying to hold down the drink. Yeah,
It's trying to work its way back up.
it is. It's trying to. It's fighting. It's fighting me. If there was, honestly, out of all these that I saw in the commercials, the one that I thought would actually look pretty good that I wish I had tried and want to try right now, the pudding pies.
The pudding pies, yeah.
The ones that are covered in the green
stuff.
the green ooze on the outside.
I think that'd be pretty easy to recreate because it's just like a confectioner's glaze with like green dye that they dipped the fruit pies in. So if we could find some vanilla pudding pies from Hostess, we could probably easily make that happen one of these days. Now for me, I'd really like to try that cereal again, especially in the bowl. And I'm sure it wasn't a great cereal.
Well, if I feel like if you wanted to recreate that cereal, it was just Chex Mix, wasn't it? It was just Chex, and you just get some cereal, some marshmallows. You can buy their own. Like, can't you buy the Lucky Charms marshmallows by themselves now?
I believe there were not just like regular Chex. I think they were like frosted or something.
If it's like that Spider-Man cereal,
Maybe not.
as mentioned before, that definitely wasn't frosted.
Okay. There were so many cereals that I ate as a child, it's hard to remember all of them. But yeah, that's definitely one I'd like to try again. And if there's one other thing, maybe just some of the Chef Boyardee Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pasta. I'm sure it's not going to be great. I'm sure it's going to taste just like every other pasta shape from Chef Boyardee, which all seem to taste the same.
Oh, absolutely. Any pasta can of Chef Boyardee you get is going to taste the same no matter the shape, be it Wonder Woman or Lord of the Rings. It's all going to taste the same.
You were eating Wonder Woman pasta?
My wife was.
Okay.
For whatever reason, she really enjoyed the Wonder Woman Chef Boyardee with no meatballs.
Okay. Would you go turtle pasta with meatballs or without?
I would do meatballs.
Yeah, same here. Well, I guess that's it for tonight. I enjoyed kind of revisiting these old commercials and food products, and I'd like to say it made my mouth water, but my mouth is still recovering from that ooze drink. Any final thoughts about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle foods?
No, I think we have exhausted every brain cell I have to dedicate to the food market cornered by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles name brand.
Fair enough. Plenty of other turtle things we can discuss down the line. Next time we'll try to branch out and cover a topic other than the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But if you enjoyed listening to this tonight, please like, subscribe, follow, leave us a review, drop a comment down below. Please do all the things. Engage with us. We will engage back with you. If you want to get in contact with us, therewindbutton.com or email me, rewindbutton99@gmail.com. Until next time, I'm Daljeet Kelsey.
And I'm Dan Fowler.
And thanks for hitting the rewind button.